Hello my friends, I'm Rich Larson and I'm the IRC Tire Guy. Today I wanted to present a special challenge to myself after I saw a few intriguing comments on a past video. In the Double-Blip / Jap Zap Technique video we released a few weeks ago, the link is in the description if you haven't already seen that breakdown, I mentioned I do about 50 double blips every time I ride, which is true and probably on the light side when you really get down to counting them. It's one of the most common techniques I use and is extremely essential for any hard enduro rider. Well, after posting this video, I saw a few mentions of that number in the comments. Most guys saying, wow, 50, that's a lot, or 50 a day, that's what I'm doing wrong. These comments got me thinking. How many reps of each technique should you be doing? And is it the best way to improve your technical skill? When thinking about this subject for this episode, I remember hearing about basketball in relation to high reps. Hearing that a good shooter takes 300 to 500 shots every day. Now, obviously, basketball is very different compared to hard enduro. But could you apply this 500 rep a day rule to your riding skill? Doing 500 reps of a single technique, whether it be a wheelie, a pivot turn, or a double blip, is this a sustainable practice? And is it going to improve your skill? I figured the best way to find the answer to these questions was trying it out. I decided let's see if we can do 500 double blips in one session. Now, 500 double blips is definitely a lot, and I wanted a controlled area to do this in. I'm lucky enough to have a big backyard with a bunch of big boulders that are perfect for training that double blip technique. So I set aside some time in the morning before it got too hot, gassed up the trials bike, and hammered down. I chose the trials bike for this experiment because it's a little lighter and easier to control. I knew 500 double blips was going to be a bit of an undertaking, so I wanted every advantage I could get. I knew using the trials bike, I'd get a good sense of the outcome in comparison to the big bike. The beauty of the trials bike is most of these skills directly transfer over to the big bike, and it takes a little less effort to control over the more technical obstacles. I used a heart rate monitor to record the time it takes and the physical output of the session. I also used my backyard security camera for a sweet time lapse of the whole session. Once I started riding and clicking off as many double blips as possible, it became clear how long it was going to take and how physical it was going to be. After the first 45 minutes, I was only around 100 in. I started focusing a lot less on no dabs before the obstacles and just getting through the 500 double blips. It's crazy how physical this was. I'm trying to focus on using the least amount of energy as possible, trying to do as many as I can as efficiently as I can, but also hitting as many different rocks as possible to get the maximum variety of the double blip technique. After nearly 3 hours and 2,000 calories burned, I officially did 500 double blips for the day. I was honestly more stoked than I thought I'd be. The fatigue at the end was real. I truly didn't think it was going to be that challenging, but it absolutely was. And I felt like I actually conquered something. Before I did this challenge, I had an opinion for the guys who are struggling with specific techniques. I always said they need to up their reps and practice more, put in the time. I absolutely still maintain that opinion, but there's definitely a point of diminishing returns. I learned that around 250 double blips. After that, you're just kind of surviving. 500 reps a day really isn't sustainable. This is extremely time consuming and both physically and mentally draining. The real question here is, will it make you a better rider? The answer is yes and no. It kind of depends on what the goal is you're trying to accomplish. If you don't know how to do a specific technique or you're doing it incorrectly, repeating it 500 times isn't going to help you. It might actually do the opposite. reinforcing the incorrect technique. You might get better at doing it wrong. Repetition isn't necessarily the secret to success. The focus needs to be more on the form and method of mastering that specific technique. Once that form and technique is improved, then the session can be repetition-centric. For me, this challenge was 100% valuable. It not only tested me physically, but mentally as well. I like a challenge that pushes your body and your mind to the limit. Because I've honed my technique, 500 reps was less about getting better at the double blip and more about conquering a set goal. That's the biggest takeaway from this whole thing for me. Practicing with a goal in mind is what makes you a better rider. Setting out and executing a plan to reach that goal is the most important part. Once you've honed your technique, absolutely go out and set a goal of 250 or 500 reps. You'll learn the perseverance it takes to reach that goal. The more you do these type of challenges that push you past what you thought you had physically, mentally, or both, the easier it is to push even further the next time. In my bio on Instagram, I wrote, "I'm not having fun unless I'm miserable." And that's exactly what I mean. The deeper into these uncomfortable situations I'm in, the more fun I'm having. So be uncomfortable. That doesn't necessarily mean doing 500 reps to failure. That may just mean 50 reps with the correct form. I hope you guys are enjoying the channel, and if you are, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as follow us on Instagram at IRC Moto and my personal Instagram page at RichLarson511. And until next time, keep shredding.